All right, give me 2 seconds, guys. It's a good thing I saved that right now. Oh, okay. I think we're good. You guys see me? Can you hear me? All right, cool. I just switched my Wi-Fi. All right, we're good now. What the heck's going on? All right. Let's try one more time, guys. Oh, hey. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Dupetas y Dupetas. Today on Dupe by the River. Today we're going to review what just happened yesterday at Subaru Park against Club America. We are also going to look ahead at this upcoming Sunday. We're following the Birds today. We're going to be facing off against Orlando City, and your boys here on Dupe by the River are going to preview that as well. And don't you dare go anywhere, guys, because you do not want to miss this episode of Dupe by the River. Let's get this started, guys. Done. And that is right. Welcome, everyone, to Dupe by the River, the show where we follow everything Philadelphia Union, brought to you by Philly Sports Network. Before we move forward, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get to it right quick. Do not forget, guys, if you are watching this live on PSN, we're back on PSN tonight. Make sure you guys like both PSN and El Parcero Phillies live portions of Dupe by the River today, and make sure you guys do subscribe. And as always, you can find Dupe by the River. It is part of PSN Radio. You can find PSN Radio wherever you stream podcasts. And of course, guys, we got a lot to get to. We have a lot of feelings to get out here, and I'm sure my experts in duping have a lot to tell you guys here tonight. So without further ado, I want to absolutely introduce these beautiful gentlemen. First off, let's start off with my man, Mr. Zach Lobasso. What's up, Zach? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Good. Got some Union to talk about, and we got some Thursday night football to watch. It's a good day. It's a good day.
And for all of us here who are NFC East fans, we are very, very much looking forward to tonight's Thursday night football. And of course, the other football as well that will be played this upcoming Sunday, and the football that was played yesterday. So I'm sure you were in your lab yesterday critiquing this Union team, and I'm excited to see what you got to say, man.
You know it.
and of course, my man, he's rocking this beautiful Colombian 2018 kit, World Cup kit. I absolutely love it. Please welcome my man, Justin La Maravilla Calva Freiberg. What's going on, Justin? How you doing, man?
For once, I can't complain. It's Thursday. There's football on the TV. And we got some. I got some hot takes.
Oh snap!
I'm locked and I'm locked and loaded after thinking about last night and what an experience, what an atmosphere it was.
Oh my god.
I have some thoughts. Whether people agree with those thoughts will be seen, but I got some thoughts, so let's get at it.
I hear you, Kada. Thank you so much. Listen, the Philly Sports Guy's got his full slate of Eagles football, but we'll definitely make it work. We'll try to get him back out there. I appreciate that love from my man, the Philly Sports Guy, big friend to the podcast. And Kada absolutely loves your shirt too, man. You picked a good one here tonight, man.
Of course, gotta rep some. Gotta rep a nice kit.
I guess now I got to get myself a USMNT kit. Jeez.
Hey, I say, Johnny, I got two Columbia kits. So
hey,
that's
I need to get one at least here, man. I don't know the Pepe kit is looking good right now. I'm just saying, or Brandon Aronson or Mark McKenzie.
Oh, dude, give me a Pepe kit. You've inspired me, John. You've inspired me.
Yes, man, absolutely. But gentlemen, let's dive right into this. Of course, last night, as we all know, the Philadelphia Union played their second leg of the CCL semifinals match against Club America. And it was so Zach was not there, but Justin, myself, and Tim were there. Tim's obviously not here tonight with us, but I think for all of us, we could say, look, we do want to give props to Club America. They did travel well, even from all over the region here in the northeast part of America. I heard a story where a group of fans, a family of Club America fans, traveled from Dallas, Texas, all the way to Philadelphia. And if you know travel in the United States, that is no 2-hour drive. Okay, that's a pretty
Yeah,
lengthy
no.
one.
If you looked at the main contingent of supporters over from 131 to 133, I mean, I saw Salt Lake
Vegas,
City,
yeah, Detroit.
Austin, Detroit, DC, Miami, like it was everywhere. And I had people who were like, "Oh, how many fans?" I'm like, "Yeah, they are the largest club in North America
By far,
and the
by
most
far.
successful." I said, like, yeah, okay, you know what? It was kind of an away game for a home game, but you know what? Like, I'm like, I give them mad respect. I give them mad respect for traveling that well. I would love to see the Union do that one day. Like, that's just insane.
And I heard that family from Texas didn't even have tickets when they got here.
Nope.
Like they went and scalped. Like they might not have even gotten in the stadium. Like that's crazy. And
That
also to the SOB's credit, I thought it was very like dependent on when in the game was happening, was very 50-50 on which group I heard most. Like Sons of Ben definitely were loud when the Union were like cooking. Like when they were on the offensive and they were peppering the goal for 15, 20 minutes for both halves, the SOB was rocking for sure.
Yeah, I mean, listen. At the end of the day, it. Look, we were out, man, and that's I think we can take that loss there as far as fans, but again, credit to those guys. They showed up. They traveled well. They were loud for 90 minutes. There was the instance, I believe, around the 75th minute where you saw Club America fans start pulling out their phones, and this is brand new to me, honestly. But they pulled out the phones. They were doing they put the flashlights on, and if you've ever been to a concert, you wave your hand back and forth. That's pretty much what was going on throughout the pitch. So it was definitely some cool scenes. Look, last night there was some ugly, and I just kind of wanted to get that out of the way because obviously, Twitter was very active, and I'm hearing those wonderful Facebook groups were very active as well last night. But look, yes, there was fans pissing in stands. There was Club America fans pissing in the stands. Club America fans spitting on other fans. I'm not sure if whether that be a Union fan or America fan. Regardless, you don't spit in general.
Especially with COVID. Especially
Yeah,
with
I was just
COVID.
saying,
COVID.
literally, you're still kind of in a pandemic. Like, yeah, not cool, not cool in any stretch, but not
Right.
cool when you're still kind of trying to get out of a main stretch of a global pandemic.
Yeah.
Right. There was vandalism in the bathrooms. Our favorite capo Adam Booth got some great words of wisdom from the Club America capos or supporters group. I don't know what it was, but and it all culminated in what happened at 2 p.m. this morning in South Philly on Passyunk Ave at Pat Steaks, where no Union fan was involved. I don't even think a Philadelphian was involved in this predicament, but looked like a bunch of Club America fans. Obviously we're drinking. You saw the Modelos on the table. And one thing led to another, and one fan started beating up another fan with a trash can lid, and that led into some curb stomping and jumping. And this morning we lost another human being on this planet. I just wanted to say, look, that passion was great last night. As someone who grew up in this culture, watching it from afar, at least from Colombia, right? That soccer culture is not what I signed up for with the Philadelphia Union. And I really hope that we never get to that place either. I know as an adult, alcohol can make you do crazy things. But as an adult, we have to take responsibility for our own actions. And you have to learn at some point, maybe one more beer isn't the good idea. And it's just sad. It is really sad because, look, for me, the reason why I put in a lot of time into this Union thing, into Philly sports, because I want this sport to grow in this city, and that is a little bit of a black eye. But I want to take the second, and I heard that they finally identified the person who did pass away. I just wanted to give my thoughts and condolences to that family. I'm going to go find out the name after this podcast, but it was just like a sad thing to kind of wake up to. You could deal with what happened last night. I mean, we kind of dealt with that in a mild manner with Miami earlier this year, but that's just not what you wanted to see. And that's why I wanted to start off with the beautiful, because this culture of Club America, traveling with the team, being as supportive as they were, that was great. That was really awesome to see. But that other stuff, it just has to leave the game. It has nothing to do with Latino America. It has nothing to do with Mexico. It has everything to do with, it just has no place within the game. I'll give you guys this opportunity here, say what you guys feel in your heart. But last night, as far as there were some negatives, but I definitely want to highlight the positives. So, Zach, you weren't there. I'll let you start there first, my man. What any thoughts that you have about last night's actions, pretty much?
So yeah, obviously condolences to the guy that lost his life and his family. Like John said, should never happen in the game. But onto the pitch. It's kind of crazy to see like a team like Club America play in Chester, Pennsylvania. Like that's kind of nuts. Like you never think that's ever gonna happen, especially like sure, play New York, LA, whatever. Like but Chester, Pennsylvania, like that's kind of nuts. And I think that, I mean, they lost 2-0, but I thought the Union definitely held their own. And at the end of the game, they were definitely gassed because they were pressing like they were all last year. And I don't think they necessarily have the same legs that they had last year, but they definitely held their own and they had their chances. In my opinion, like they could have won the tie. Like there was definite opportunity to win that tie and advance to the final. And I'm sure we'll address it in a little bit, but that number 9 situation's definitely still haunting the Union. But at the end of the day, like the atmosphere from where I was sitting in my room watching the game was awesome. It was loud, like both sides, like you heard America fans chanting, you heard the SOB chanting. And it was just a very kind of surreal experience watching the game. A game of that magnitude played like in our backyard.
Yeah, and that's one thing I do feel like, Philadelphia as in general didn't realize is we had the biggest club in North America here, and it was pretty cool to see. Like I think I told Justin this before the game. We'll be telling our grandkids this. Like we watched the Union in the first CCL semifinals play to the almighty Club America. Justin, anything you wanted to add or say to the whole off the pitch situations?
Yeah. So leading up to it, I didn't have many expectations because, right. It was like you're joining the experience for what it is. You're playing in the largest tournament in North America against the largest club in North America. And I kept telling my good friend, I said, listen, like, I hope you understand this is something huge. Like we're experiencing history right now with this club. And I said, like, be prepared. They travel well. This is going to be an interesting experience. And, we pulled up, and the first thing I see is a dude, draped in Club America flags, pulling a wagon full of Club America flags to sell. Every corner, they were hawking some kind of Club America gear. I saw large pockets of Club America fans just hanging out, just chilling. I was walking from my car over the SOB lot. I had a few guys kind of, playfully ribbing me and, talking, and they were cool guys. It was just, it was a nice atmosphere. Before the game, there was a lot of hype. Both teams' fans were really, honestly, like giving it their all, and it seemed like it was a pretty friendly, steer to things. I saw some, Club America fans as we were walking in, were had their own little smoke bombs and were talking, and they were kind of like they were just kind of having fun. And during the game, it was a wild atmosphere. Like I couldn't believe it. And towards the end, things kind of started to get a little rough. The parts of the game that I don't love. With all the, I understand being passionate and an ultra, but sometimes the hooliganism gets a little much. So, and when I heard that what happened at 2 a.m. and they said, it was a group of Club America fans. The kid identified traveled from New York. Yeah, it was a whole, it was an argument gone wrong, and it's I mean, like, I love the sport. I live and breathe soccer. I watch as much as I can. I play the sport. I love everything about the sport. It's provided so much to me, to the world, to a lot of people, but it's nothing to hurt other people over.
Right.
And I don't get it. Like, it's the one thing of soccer. I try to, I defend the sport a lot, but it's something I can't defend because it's just like there's a line. There's a line, whether or not you're a fan, whether or not you're a human being, that was absolutely crossed last night. And so thoughts and prayers with that gentleman's family. I honestly can't imagine going to a soccer game and and then finding hearing that your son, brother, father, husband had been killed right after probably one of the best nights of his life, watching his team move on to the CCL finals.
Right.
So like I said, thoughts and prayers to the family, and it kind of disgusts me that stuff like this is dirty is the beautiful game.
Right. I mean, you hit it on the head. I mean, it's crazy. We call it the beautiful game, but we do have, and that's like anything in life. You do have some of these ugly instances, but again, just it's about remembering the positive, and you know what else, too, guys? We didn't even mention. Like, look, watching SOBs kind of walk up as a unit together with the smoke bombs. They were pretty strong. It was a good group there. That is beautiful to see, and it shows that this city, again, constantly, this city can keep growing as a soccer city, and I fully believe that, and hopefully we can get some more moments like that with our Philadelphia Union fans. It's only a step, guys. It's only a step here. Raphael wants to say, hey, what's up, guys? He wants to give some shout outs to Justin's great shirt. Justin, man, you are winning fans today, my man. I love it, dude. I'm here for it. Rafael, I'm doing great, my man. I'm excited. I'm with my guys here to talk some Union soccer. You know me, that's what I love to do the most. And he's reporting for duty. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for tuning on in. God, Philly were so good but couldn't finish. MLS still lacks that killer instinct in this competition, but all credit to the Union with their squad. We'll definitely talk about.
It's a loaded question. That's a loaded response because it goes more than just the game itself. It goes into the structures of the leagues and how much of a budget Liga MX, even the lowest of Liga MX clubs, have compared to the MLS clubs. So that's a different discussion for a different day.
Yeah, we'll definitely dive deeper into that a little bit later, but somewhat I agree with that. Against bigger teams, you have to capitalize on your chances. Montero with the PK and Glezes, I think, with the solo header before the half. Great points there, and those are things that we'll definitely talk about as well. Thank you, AK Gaming. Listen, it is what it is. Like anything in life, AK Gaming, I always say, it's an opportunity to learn, from something like that. So, thank you so much, Gala, as well. Are you good there, Zach?
Yeah, you went down the wrong bite there, man.
Zach's over here wasting time. Give him the yellow.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that's another thing I have for this game. But
all right, well, guys, let's get into it. Right, so last night, look, like Justin said, not too many expectations going into last night. When you're down 2-0, you're facing the almighty Club America. You look in the stands; it's mostly yellow, right? But the Union, I will say, I'll give it 80, 85 minutes. I felt like they played really hard against Club America, despite the gap in talent there. In the first half, I will say that this is me, and I guess some people don't agree. I felt like the calls were leaning more towards Club America on some instances. That like I call it how it is, and that's just how I saw. Second half, I thought it was much better, but that's just what I saw in the first half. Obviously, in the second half, the story was that 50th minute where Casper draws the foul in the box, and of course, Jamiro Montero goes up for the penalty kick. Remind you, Casper was going to take it, and Jamiro waved him off, and Jamiro said, "I'm gonna take this. We'll discuss what we think about that in a little bit." But Jamiro goes and takes it, and Memo kind of guessed it, but Jamiro still had that gap to make it, and he hit the post, and we wasted an opportunity. Kind of was a deflating moment later on in the 79th minute. Benedetti of Club America gets a goal, and then in the 93rd minute, Henry of Club America gets the nail on the coffin, and Club America wins 2-0, 4-0 on total aggregate, and eliminate your Philadelphia Union out of CCL. What I want to start off with, guys, I'm proud of this team. I'm straight up proud of this team. Listen, guys, Philadelphia Union don't have 100 years worth of history like Club America does. Philadelphia Union don't have the money that Club America has. But we took yet again another step in 2021. Last year, it was winning the supporters. 2019. 2019, it was about winning their first playoff game. 2020, you won a supporter shield. You won some hardware. 2021, you made your name known in your own continent. And I'm extremely proud we made it to the semifinals. Club America is who it is. I mean, you take for what you can from those two legs, and we will definitely we'll move on here into the next part of our season. But guys, I want to start off here. Obviously, the narrative of the season for the Philadelphia Union has been the dysfunction with the attack. Justin, I'll start with you. What did you see from this attack? I did see that they seemed like hungry. They were hungry. They looked more not clean, but I saw more effort from the attack. What did you see from the attack yesterday night?
For once, I actually saw strikers that were hungry to get goals and to get chances. Now, you have Corey maybe taking a second too long and creating a great chance, and Casper had a few, near, but like he was dragging the defenders, and they were honestly it was the best I had seen from the striker core in a while. What was very clear in my eyes, and this is going to be hot take number one of many. I just think Jamiro does not work in this offense. Every time you would have Brujo, even Brujo would bring the ball up, and once I got to Jamiro, the play kind of stalled because he'd try to take on three defenders, or he would he'd drag it to the corner and no one would be following him, or if someone's making the run, he'd wait till too late to try to make the pass, or he'd cook a pass way too hard, and I don't know. It leads me to believe, and I still think that Jamiro won't be here next season. I think that based on what happened in the DC game with all the stuff related to the locker room incident, I think there's a lot of friction in this locker room, and I don't think it's a widespread thing. I think it's centralized on a few players, and I think Jamiro's part of it. And I just think that as soon as Gazdag came on, it instantly looked like the offense started to actually click and created some pretty good chances. And I mean, I also think that, Corey probably should have made some back post runs, because if Casper's making that near post run, you got to have one striker near and one striker far. It's kind of how it's supposed to. It's literally in a two-striker system. Yeah, that's the most basic of concepts. I think Corey tried to make too many near post runs, and so you had that ball that was perfectly played, and that Casper was dragging the defender, so he's not going to get to it, but that far post defender should. And fortunately, your far post defender is at the near post. So I think overall, I was more impressed with the offense, but Jamiro he just freezes that offense to a standstill, and it's kind of frustrating because he's not a 10, he's an 8. But he keeps wanting to play as a 10. They keep putting him at a 10, and it's creating havoc on the offense.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, guys. So I just got word in here. We have identified the victim from last night. It just came in. So we want to just give our thoughts and prayers to Isidro Cortez, the 28-year-old man from Queens, New York. That just came to my attention now, and I just kind of wanted to give there. But yeah. So Justin, I agree with you. It was definitely tough. I do see what you're saying with Jamiro Montero. To me, I just don't feel like he has taken the position as being that left shuttler the same way he did last year. I don't feel like he is being like he actively doesn't want to do it. I feel like we're talking about that link up play from the back line to the forward line. The shuttlers are important, honestly, even when you're number 10. And I don't feel like he's taking that role on the same way he did last season. But what did you see, Zach, from the attack on Wednesday night?
I agree with you guys. Like they looked hungrier, but the attack was still boring. Like they didn't do anything to create any like chances other than lumping balls into the box from wide areas, for the most part. And I just think that, as Justin said, like it has to do a lot with Jamiro because of the fact that like he's not very creative.
Even though he probably thinks he is.
He thinks he's the second coming of Leo Messi, I guess. But
that's a good point.
But he is not.
He's the second coming of Jack Wilshere, more like it.
Hey, don't disrespect Jack like that, all right? Don't disrespect Jack. Okay? But no, it was just like, and again, we had the header from Glesnes, the near post shot from Glesnes that went wide, the pen, and we had Brujo take another 2 shots from like 35 yards out. Granted, one of them was on target.
Oh my god, that
the
one
first
was like,
one. Right?
It was like
now it did not challenge Memo at all. Like he was there. He's like thank you. The second one went into the river, I'm pretty sure. If I would be surprised if it wasn't floating.
It almost hit a nice tifo, man.
Today. But yeah, it's just like there's no attacking identity other than let's get the ball to our outside backs. And as soon as they get within 35 yards, they can cross it whenever they want. And that's just not a good way to score. Like it doesn't work.
Right.
And you saw the second goal now it was really bad defending from Glesnes, but the second goal they scored was them winning the end line, playing a ball across to the 6 on the ground, and the guy tapping it in at the back post. That's how you score goals off crosses.
And I honestly, guys, I thought it was very interesting that Jim decided to go with Jamiro over Gazdak because I felt like that lineup was working in Mexico. Honestly, like I remember. I mean, we all remember that first instance in Mexico in the second minute. I mean, Gazdak getting it to Casper. So I definitely did question that lineup decision there with going with Jamiro over Gazdak. But I also, too, wanted to give some love because I really felt like for Flock, and attack-wise, from an attack perspective, I thought that was his best match in a long time. I thought he was very active. He made some nice moves as well, kept the ball away, and I thought that was his best job there. But, yeah, Jamiro gets at that 10, man. You said it, Zach. He thinks he's Leo Messi, and he wants to start, doing all these techer moves. And it's like, Jamiro, this is America. I mean,
but shouts though to I would say give some credit to El Brujo. I thought he had a really good game.
Nah, he played well yesterday.
Whoa!
He played well yesterday. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. He played well yesterday.
That was the thing was he kept his cool for the most part. The yellow card was rough. I understand dissent, but the ref in the first half was not equally giving yellow cards for anything. It was some of the worst reffing in that first half I've ever seen. The cards made no sense. The fouls were pretty soft, even by CONCACAF standards. But I thought El Brujo was able to settle things down. He was taking better touches. In the first leg, it felt like he was taking heavy touches, and that was setting him up poorly for then having to foul someone. He was winning some pretty good challenges, was able to move the ball up the field. His passing range has gotten pretty damn good. Yeah. And I thought he brought a lot more to the offense than Jamiro did.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely raises a question there because, I mean, look, Leon did well. I want to give the opportunity to Leon because he did play really well playing at that shell midfielder. But yeah, I mean, Gazdak, you got to put him back at that 10, man, and we'll see what happens this weekend. But I want to move forward, guys, and talk about the penalty kick situation in the 50th minute there. Obviously, look, you get a penalty kick against Club America. You're down to nothing. That is a prime opportunity to get started right there. Casper draws the foul, and I thought he did a great job of drawing that foul, getting ahead as well. And at that instance, Casper is going to take it, and Jamiro decides, no, I'm going to take it. He took that stance, and he said, no, I am going to take this penalty kick. And we all know what happened after. He misses the PK, hits the post. Memo Memo picked the right side as well. Jamiro was going to kick from, but look, I will say this: we don't have a penalty kick. Maybe Gazdak on the pitch though. Last night, at that instance, we did not have a penalty kicker. So in that instance, I know Jamiro's history, I know Casper's history, but I would have taken Casper in that situation. To be honest with you guys, he drew the foul. He did a good job of drawing the foul. He in Champions League has been the Golden Boot winner. Club America completely froze him up in this year. I mean, a lot of teams in the MLS have frozen him up as well over the last month or two. But Club America has definitely frozen him up. But I would have gone with Casper in that instance. Zach, you have hyping this up. I'll let you start here, my man. Who would you have wanted taking that penalty kick?
So as I tweeted out last night, Gazdag will bury that thing. Like Gazdag buries that. And on the pitch, hot take here. I'm giving it to the Norwegian nightmare, Jakob Glesnes. Dude, now listen. Here's my thought process, right? Okay. You all know I think Casper stinks. I don't like Casper. He's probably a great dude, but as a striker, he stinks. Jamiro definitely wouldn't have had Jamiro take it. Leon, no. Brujo, definitely not. You could go Ali maybe. That's a possibility. He's hit or miss though. Like he's missed some. Burke, I don't know. I've never seen him take a pen, so I don't know.
Did he take some in 2019? Justin would know better than me. I feel like. Before his before the visa situation, 2019, did he not get one against Montreal? Or am I mistaken? The parlay.
He got a header.
Okay, then I'm probably mistaken.
I don't remember if he took PK, but he had a header in that game.
I'm sorry, Zach. Keep going.
No, all good. Also, my rule of thumb is, now this is me personally, if I get fouled, more often than not, I will not take the penalty kick. Like if I draw the penalty kick, I more often than not do not take it because I feel like the emotions in that instance, you're way too either jacked up or you might be a little knocked and you don't realize it, and a lot of things can go wrong. So I wouldn't have given it to Casper. And Glesnes just smashes the ball. And maybe there's room for error and he hits it over, but I know that if he hits it on target, it's going in. There's no way, as good as Memo is, he's chopping a shot from 12 yards out from that cannon.
Yeah, man.
So that's who I would have had taken. I would have put Glesnes on that kick, which sounds kind of crazy, I know, but I think it makes total sense.
That is pretty creative for me, my friend. That is definitely pretty creative here. Real quick, because I definitely missed this comment here, but Justin, I think you mentioned this. Do we know what exactly happened in DC?
It's a kind of a lot of like stuff from the media and kind of like stuff being tweeted, like based on reading between the lines. From my understanding, I think Kai Jamiro, I think, had it out. I think there was some arguments. Jamiro wasn't happy. He was subbed off. Kai like stormed off the field. I think there was a bit of like trying to settle things. So I think the locker room, for the most part, has been fine. But I think there's been some uneasy tension, and I think that especially with the Jamiro transfer situation, I think that I know he, his family's here, and I think that settled things. But I think I don't know if his head's still here. And I think that I don't know if that leads to it, but that's as far as I know from what I heard from DC. It wasn't anything like that definitely happened. It's like people kind of said what they could from what they heard.
I don't know if you guys thought yesterday too, but he looked like he was going to miss that penalty kick. Like the way he was like standing there, I was like, I don't think it's going in. Like it didn't look like it was a confident, like, I'm back this Jamiro.
And something does seem off. And look, this is all observations, but when I see Jamiro interacting with his teammates, it seems like he has this relationship more towards like Olivier and Bizo and Sergio Santos. I don't really see him interacting too much with Ali. Now we know what happened with Kai. But could that be a reason why he doesn't play that left Shudler as much as he did last season? I remember 2019 the chemistry that Kai, Brendan, and Casper had for a lot of that season. So that definitely does bring up some interesting questions. But Justin, I'll want to get your opinions on it as well. Who would you have wanted to take that PK?
Casper. My role opposite of Zach is you get fouled, you take the PK.
Well, now my thing is like you get the choice, but my personal rule is I usually don't take it.
And for me the same way. Even I wouldn't want to take it, but in that situation, Jamiro has not really been a great PK taker for this team.
I agree,
and totally. I would have taken Ali, Casper, Corey, Leon. I would have taken anybody at that point, and it leads me to the whole thing about that Jamiro is kind of messing with this offense, and I think that PK early in the second half could have potentially made it for a really interesting half. I will say, on a related note, I am surprised that the ref got that right. There was questions potentially. I wouldn't say it was dog so because it wasn't there. There wasn't enough distance where that was a case. People thought so. I knew it was at very least it was a yellow and it was in the box. But I will say, I don't know what the hell was going on with the refs this game. And the one thing, besides the first half, besides the disparity in the yellow cards, because there was not any equal cards, like something that got a card here was barely a foul on the other side. So I think there was a bit of disparity of calls. But I'm sorry. What on earth was VAR checking for on that foul?
I have no idea.
Because it was not mistaken identity. It was not a red card offense. It was not dog so, and it wasn't a handball or foul in the box. Well, so my question is then, what on earth were they looking at?
So from what I was listening to on the broadcast, was that the VAR ref thought it was potential red card. Like apparently it was a potential red card. Was what
there
they
was
were
nothing
looking at.
To that. Like,
trust me. I saw the replay. I saw a replay immediately, and I was like, I don't know if I'd even call that foul. Like, I don't even know if I would have called that.
That's the thing. Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, it wasn't even to that level, and that's what the reffing last night was atrocious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, especially in the first half. The first half was rough, but
I would even say that slide tackle from Giro. I thought for a second because, look, he didn't even get ball. That was pretty dangerous. That could have been a red card, but they gave him the yellow. But there was definitely different instances where it was definitely shaky. And I agree with you guys when it comes to officiating. Ruloy, listen. Obviously, he's coming here. I got the chance to parade with the Sons of Ben for the first time. I'm ashamed of the way some of my Mexican people behaved last night. I promise we're not all like that. And this is my point here. And unfortunate, me and my girlfriend actually had this thought in our head because we both love Mexican culture. We love our Mexican. We have a lot of Mexican friends. Last night was not a representation of Mexican culture. Last night was a representation of bad soccer culture.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with the race, has nothing to do with the country. That crap happens in Honduras. That crap happens in Argentina. I mean, I can tell you stories about Copa Libertadores. I'm sure you guys can as well. So again, Ruloy, last night had nothing to do with Mexico in general.
Oh, so. And I agree. And I like, yeah, I've had plenty of good experiences. I've had experiences with some of with the Club America fans. Like, trust me, Ruloy, I don't hold that against. Like, listen, there's ugly parts of the game, and unfortunately, that's how it is. And don't get me wrong, like, would I love to go to Estadio Azteca and go see a Club America game? 100%. That's like I want to go see a game almost on every continent. Like. That's kind of like that's my ultimate goal in life is to do that. And you know what? Like, people suck sometimes. That's just unfortunately how life is. People just suck, and there's not a whole lot you can do but celebrate the positives, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Chris, this is interesting. Chris says the PK should have been a goal, but wouldn't have changed the outcome.
I
don't know. Yeah,
because that's early in the half. That's early in the second half. Jamiro, again, horrible placement because it's Memo. It was easy savable height for Memo.
Right.
He pushes that onto the post, and unfortunately Corey couldn't get much around it because it kind of bounced weird, so he had to kind of wait for a bit. But it was just, I think it would have put Club America on their heels, and I think it would have put them more on the offensive. And I think there were moments where they were getting stretched, and I think it would have actually created a way more wide open game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the momentum definitely shifted there because I felt like the Union were just going up, up, up. Like you said, 5 minutes into the half, you get that golden opportunity. You got to capitalize that.
And then it immediately went Club America's way. Like, it just, for that next 5 minutes, it was go, go, go. And it was like, oh shit. Like, it changed on a dime. That was how important that moment was.
You saw it on their faces. The Union were definitely pissed off. And is it at Jamiro now? I don't know. We'll see how that chemistry goes. Gala, we thank you for tuning on in. Anything you need, we definitely got you here at DOOP by the River for sure. Guys, we also talked about in the preview. Listen, we got shut down on the out wide in Mexico. What did you think yesterday? Zach, you can start off on that one. What did you think yesterday of the Weath?
I mean, we were definitely crossing, but I'm still not a fan of how we were crossing, just from distance. And I know we got two big guys in the middle, but it's just so low percentage. Like when I coach, I always harp on crossing and finishing, and I think that gets misconstrued as like, all right, let's just put the ball in the box whenever we get the chance. Like, no, I really and now to the Union's credit and detriment, like they don't play with wingers, right? So they can't. It's harder to win the end line, especially in a team that has a 2-goal advantage and is playing a lower block. It's tough to get around the outside backs, especially without creative wingers, right? We don't have creative guys. Like, we don't have 2 Elsinos on the pitch. We don't even have 1 Elsinio on the pitch. But so that's an issue, is like we don't create high percentage chances very often. Like, the chances we do create are either like we do get, like, every once in a while from crosses from distance, you're going to create a high percentage chance. Like the one Glesnes should have scored the header. Like, yeah, at least put on target, but he put it over. And then the other Glesnes chance, but that's 2. And I think we crossed the ball like 40 times. And if you're creating 2 chances from 40 crosses, like, that's not really ideal. So, I mean, yeah, we did a lot better, but I don't know if it was like better. You know what I mean?
Justin, what about you? And also, Justin, did you see an improvement defensively from Mbaizo?
Honestly, yeah. Like, I think for once, I think for the most part in that game, the back line actually held its own, which was impressive. I mean, a back line that hasn't necessarily been gouged for goals, but it definitely, I would say like 85 minutes really held their own. Even after the first goal, I think it still felt like there was a chance for them to really get back into it. But yeah, I think Mbaizo actually handled his own and didn't get torn up like he did in the first leg before he got subbed out. So yeah, overall, I think the defense actually played a good game. Although I will say, Glesnes, man, if you're not going to get fully in the way of that, don't half-ass block that. Right. Like, as a goalie, I absolutely hate when players just stick out a foot and kind of half-ass block it and it deflects the other way. Like, it looked like Andre had that. And then that gets deflected and boom, it's like Andre's on the ground and that thing's looping over him. Like, I that frustrates me to no end. So Andre, I get it. I get the frustration.
Jakob, from one goalie to another.
Yeah, Jakob, you can't do that, man. Like, either get in the way or get out. Like, either fully block it or get out of the way. Like, you just can't do that. Like, you stuck a foot out. You weren't even remotely in position to block that.
Yeah, man, I agree with you there. Chris Anderson, I wanted to add, why is Jamiro so damn salty? I love how aggressive he is, but he seems to have lost control, and now it's affecting his game. Yeah,
it's affecting the team in general.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. The bad play, the bad attitude, everything about it. If you have a star player that can starts acting this way, I mean, Zach, you know it more than anyone. If you have a player on your team that is a leader and that has a bad attitude, attitude can leach out to the rest of the team, and that can really bring a team down. And then that's when you're in a situation where you're playing way poorer than than you should be, and that's when it starts to really drag everything down.
Yeah, culture is the most important part of teams. Now, I've only been privy to soccer teams or football teams, whatever you want to call it. But when teams have good culture in the locker room, you're more likely to win. And I'm reading a book right now for the leadership class that I'm in.
Nice.
And it is about the correlation between happiness and success. And rather that success leads to happiness, it's more so that happiness leads to success. So in an environment where you are happy, you are more likely to be successful. And if you are not happy in that locker room, get the hell out so we can get someone who is dancing around like Mark McKenzie used to do and having a good old time after practice, posting on his Instagram and stuff. Because we need more of that. Because when guys are loose and having fun, everyone win a lot more football, soccer games, whatever you want to say. Everyone win a lot more games.
We allow them both. We don't discriminate. We don't.
I just like to say both because we got all kinds of audience in the room.
I got you. One last point before we move on because we're cutting it close here, guys. It was really freaking cool seeing Memo Ochoa in person, and I was telling my girlfriend on the way there, you're gonna watch probably the best goalkeeper of all time in this region play, and that was pretty damn cool. And obviously, we saw the young fans running out on the pitch. Luckily, nothing bad happened to them. But it was cool seeing him. It was honestly pretty cool seeing Memo Ochoa out there on the pitch.
I did scream Dos Acero while he was.
I had
USMT
in you.
I had to get that dig out there. Respect the hell out of him, but I got to do it.
I'm gonna say second best in the region. Keylor Navas exists. Keylor Navas.
I was gonna say Keylor Navas.
There you go.
Thank you, Connor. Navas gets no respect, despite the fact that he was a big reason why Real Madrid won 3 straight.
Dude, my man is special.
Oh,
he's so good. He's
so underrated and undervalued, man.
Also, little shout out to USWNT. Carl Lewis got 4 goals in the first half.
Hey. 7-0 right now. It is a smoke show right now.
Carl Lewis got 4 goals in the first half.
There you go. All right, I'll answer this real quick for Raul because he really wants to know. Union fans are louder at times. Imagine bringing that type of energy on a regular season games. What needs to be done at our home field to the next level, Parcero? I've talked about this plenty of times. Look, the Union definitely need to keep taking care of business on the pitch, but as far as us, the fans go, it's tough. It is definitely tough. Look, I asked myself yesterday, imagine if half the people in Philadelphia showed up the way they do for Eagles games, they did for Union games. Yesterday, I felt like would have been a 50-50 Union to a Club America in that arena or that park. So I think for us, it just keep the recognition. The reason why I cover 5 Philly sports, I love all 5 Philly sports, but I know how the city works. I'm not stupid. I know people, it's always the Eagles and whoever else is winning, right? So by adding that 5th team, there's no excuse. If I can do it, you can spend a 1 day, 2 hours out of your week to pay attention to the Philadelphia Union. So I think on us, it's just about putting that recognition. And what I've learned over the last 3 years covering all 5 Philly sports teams, we cannot force feed this to people. Just by showing our excitement, just by showing our love for this club, people always get intrigued. People still there's four for quote unquote, I always say 4 for 4 Philly sports fans that always wonder, why do I love the Union so much? And I tell them, come down to Chester and I'll show you why. So that's what it is, Roy. It's on us. It is on us. And that's the beautiful part. Guys, we are part of a grassroots movement here. This is an organic type of movement. This is the MLS. We're a brand new club. We don't have the 100-year history that Club America has or Liga MX has. So it's about us. But I appreciate you asking those great questions, Raul.
Yeah. And taking our club to the next level, we need a striker. That is just we need a striker.
Yes, Jay, put your money where your fucking
we need a striker.
To take our club to the next level, we need a striker.
We need a striker, dude. That's it. That'll be good. if we get a striker, I promise more fans will come to the game.
I hear you.
And Zach will finally stop begging for a striker.
I will stop, dude. We could brought in Josef. He scored 2 goals yesterday. We could brought in Josef Martinez. He didn't want to play. He didn't want to play there anymore.
I'm a little worried. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little worried about Atlanta. They look much better these days. All right, but let's talk about their rival, because their rival is who we're playing next. So we're gonna cut this really short because there's not much to talk about when it comes to Orlando City. Come on, guys, it's Disney World here. Anyways, so we focus our attention now. CCL's out of the way. We had our fun, but now we have to focus on the MLS play. We have about a month and a half left until the MLS Cup playoffs begin, and that means we have to start getting this attack on the right freaking foot. And guys, this match this upcoming Sunday is set up for us to kind of get in that type of direction. Look, Orlando City coming off bad form right now, back-to-back bad losses, got splanked by Atlanta United, lost to a Montreal team. They were down 2 men, Orlando City was, but still 2 losses. This upcoming Sunday, guys, no Nani, no Andres Pereira for Orlando City. So this, to me, is the perfect opportunity to ride what you did against Glover. You should not be those guys, and I'm assuming Jim is the great motivator that he is, has these guys' heads up as well. Keep your heads up, because this upcoming Sunday, you have an opportunity to get the ball rolling, get that first good performance in, and we're going full steam ahead at the MLS Cup playoffs here. So this should be a very exciting match here for the Philadelphia Union. Justin, what are you looking forward to here in this upcoming match for us against Orlando? In Orlando.
Well, for one, I don't have to see Nani's ugly hairdo. Like, whatever he's got going on there, man. As someone who doesn't have hair, I don't want that hair. Like, not my thing, man. But you do you.
He's allowed to. Hey, let's be real. He's allowed to do what he wants.
He's
a Man U guy. Come on, Justin.
He's allowed to do what he wants.
Yeah, but it's been a long time since his Man U days. But also, I always love playing against Gallese, because anytime we win, it's nice to shut certain Orlando fans. Not my buddy Freddie, but shouts to my boy Freddie. You know what I'm curious about is how they're going to play. Mainly because as I talked to Freddie before this morning before the pod, he's told me there's been some reports out of Orlando that they haven't been playing well lately, and Oscar Pareja's starting to lose the locker room. If reports are true, it happened with Dallas. When the coach starts to lose the locker room, it can really start to create a lot of honestly, same thing that the Union right now can create a lot of ugly play on the field. So I'm actually curious, one, if Jim rotates. Spoiler alert. No, he won't. But it'd be nice. But 2, I'm curious how the Union respond after a Club America game, in which I think they played pretty well. And I think that first 5-10 minutes, I always say the first 5-10 minutes for them is crucial. I think more now than ever, I think this is going to be a big plus. One, you're nationally televised, so maybe we can actually, show the nation we're not as bad as we've been lately.
The nation. Yeah. So what is it with these two teams that handle the pandemic great? I felt like in Orlando and the Union, that now both seem to have locker room issues, guys.
I don't know, man. They were just locked up with each other for too long. I hate each other now.
The truth comes out now. I hate your stinking guts.
We should have challenged. We should have tackled COVID even worse, man. We stuck together for too damn long.
It is really weird, because they were spending so much time together. Now they get a little bit of freedom, and now they're like, I don't have to hang out with your dumb ass.
No, they hang out with their real friends, and they're like, yeah, this guy actually sucks. What am I doing? I gotta get out of this team.
Zach, what are you looking forward to on Sunday, man?
It's not even on the Union side. I'm looking forward to watching Daryl DK play a little bit.
He said the name.
Even though he has lost his spot to the kid. Actually, he never had the spot, but
the guy with the pep in his step.
Oh, dude, I think I'm finally content with the U.S. men's national team forward situation. Like, Pepe is legit, man. He is good. He plays well back to goal. He dribbles. He can score in the air, on the ground, from distance. He's a complete he's like what we wanted Josh Sargent to be. But he's better. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see Daryl DK play because I still don't necessarily believe he belongs in the MLS. I think Orlando really screwed up there. They were offered a ton of money, and they were like, "Nah, he's worth more. I'll prove it." And he hasn't really done it. But I mean, he did prove it last year in the EFL. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's probably my biggest thing is I'm looking forward to watch Daryl DK play and see if he really terrorizes our slow center backs because he is quite quick.
But he's also physical, so.
Well,
yeah, so
guys that can handle physicality.
Yeah, you're right. But if he pushes them and then runs past them, that's not a good combination.
Well, we might get Bato, right? He might come out.
You guys remember that? Even seen the? Has he even?
I totally forgot he was on the team.
Right?
Has he been healthy? I'll have to ask Freddie. Has he even been healthy?
I completely forgot he was on the team.
That was
a
even funny one.
On the roster anymore, but
they love aging Portuguese and Brazilian players, man. They love it. It is pretty hilarious there. But to the point with Daryl DK, look, I felt like Glez has had a really strong match yesterday defensively wise. I really felt like he didn't look scared at all. And I'm curious if that's going to be the matchup there. I'm sure it's going to be a joint effort with Elliott and Glesnes, or I mean, I don't know, Justin. Maybe we will see a little bit of rotation with the center backs, but
we're going to see Bueno, Davo.
Oh man. Well, if Courtney's listening, she probably wants a really Colin to start.
Dude, yeah, put him in. I don't care at this point. Stick him in there.
Should be fun. So that leads to my next question here, guys. What do you, we'll start with Justin here. What do you see the lineup being on Sunday?
You know, I want to say this rotation, and part of me is saying no. Don't be an idiot. We're not going to rotate.
We have Jim as a manager.
Yeah, I mean, listen. As we always say, you know who's in net. Like there ain't going to be any change in that. That's one thing you can write in permanent marker because. You know how it's going to be. Andre's the man. That is what it is.
The man.
We do have some parity at that right back position.
I will say I think Olivier gets that start. I think he played well, so I don't think you take it from him. I think obviously Kai is, and I think on Friday, I don't think you rotate the center backs because I like Finlay, but I don't see him as someone that matches well against a physical bruiser like DK.
I concur.
So I think you keep that the same. Now in the midfield, here's where I want to do a little experimentation here.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna throw a real wild midfield. I'm gonna go even though Ali didn't have a bad game. I'm going Brujo, Bueno.
Wait, where are you putting these guys?
So Brujo's obviously at the 6th.
Okay, cool.
I think Bueno and Leon are your shovelers. I think Gazdag up top.
Up top or attacking mid?
Well, up top of the diamond.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it. And then your strikers, I still think Casper gets it. And I think Casper and Corey, I think honestly, was not a bad pairing. I think if you have Davo on the bench, I think he could be a great option for 30 minutes or so. I don't know if Sergio is going to be around. I know he picked up a knock before. I mean, he was hurt for the New England game. Let's be honest. Everyone knew he was hurt, and he tried to make it, and he couldn't. At least, you saw him go back to the bench. He picked up a knock before Copa America. So I don't know if he's going to be available. If he is, great. If not, don't force him. I think Davo can bring that speed off the bench.
It very intriguing. I don't think your lineup was too crazy, but 2 lefties at your shuttlers.
I mean, I think it. I'm going to give Ali a rest.
Right.
The two, I don't think it particularly matters on which side of the. I mean,
if you play in the midfield, you should be able to use both feet.
Yeah, like either way, I think you're gonna have guys that can bring the ball up,
right?
And Gazdag will have players that can run over top him and give him that width, give him that space, and really move the ball up a little quicker than I think they've been doing in the past.
Okay. What about you, Zach?
I think I'm pretty similar with Justin. Gazdag definitely gets a start for me after that, Chimero performance. If we can call it a performance.
It's a something, all right.
Yeah, he was out there. He was definitely out there. But I think, Brujo starts. He played well. I'm going to go... I want Jack to start. I really want Jack to start. And I think I'm going to go Jack and Allie.
Okay.
I
guess two righties now. So I guess it really doesn't matter.
Is Jack? I thought Jack was a lefty, no?
Was he lefty?
I'm pretty sure Jack's a lefty.
I don't know.
Because I thought that Jim had complimented him on his comparison to Harris, and Harris was a lefty, no?
Okay.
I could be wrong. But I thought Jack McGlynn was a lefty. But up top, Casper gets it, but I'm going Quinn.
You think Quinn should be the striker at the
well, I think Casper and Quinn are gonna
Casper and Quinn, gotcha.
Yeah,
I like
Casper
that. No, you know me. I like Quinn. I like to see Quinn more as that second forward along with Casper.
Yeah, Casper and Quinn.
I'm definitely in on that. What about those prediction guys? Justin, what you got for me?
I think it's gonna be an interesting game, nationally televised and all. I think Daryl DK does get a goal, and I think it's gonna be he's just gonna bruise his way and blast one upper 90
as he does
with all the power he's got, and he shouldn't even be around here.
He doesn't belong.
He doesn't belong here. He should be in Europe.
You need to leave.
I think the Club America game, even despite a loss, I think it gives the team a little more oomph. I think a little more, pep in their step in terms of knowing that they did play well, and I think the fans there's chances at a different result. I'm gonna go 2-1 Union.
2-1 Philadelphia Union. Zach, what you got, man?
I'm gonna go 2-2. I think DK actually gets a brace. And on the Union side, I'm not gonna say because I know you guys don't like jinxes.
That is true. That's a very good point, Zach.
I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna keep it close to the vest and
keep it at that, man.
Or stay it off the air so that you're not recording.
Yeah, no. I can't even do that because then you guys still yell at me. So
you damn superstitious mother effers.
Yeah, I can't. Hey guys, I wanna give you so you guys can prop bet it. I want you to know, but I can't say it because then
Zach's trying to make us some money here in our pockets. You can't say no to that, guys. Very nice. For me, guys, look, when we're facing off against Orlando these days, for me, it's about proving to Orlando that Philadelphia is a better goalkeeper. I'm just saying.
You don't have to much to prove it.
I don't understand how people think that that's true.
I think it's
played in a little tournament.
I think it has to do, for me, they don't look at the MLS play, but they look at the fact that Galice plays for Peru in CONMEBOL, starts for Peru, where Andre starts in Jamaica in CONCACAF. I think that's where people do look at it. Because if I look at MLS play, I don't know how you say Galice plays better than Andre Blake. I'm sorry, but I just don't see that.
Yeah, and Andre's third best goalkeeper in CONCACAF, and he's got two best goalkeepers in CONCACAF history he's competing with. So I don't know how you're going to tell me that Galice is better than without the two best goalkeepers in CONCACAF history.
I agree with you.
Blake.
I agree with you.
Blake. Yeah, you take out the two legends. Blake's best goalkeeper in CONCACAF. Now listen, I've turned, as much as I hate to say it, I've turned around on Matt Turner, man. That guy can ball. And it's just because
pains me, man.
and listen,
don't let New England fans.
Yeah, don't give him. Don't make their heads any bigger.
No. He sucks for the New England. He's good for the national team. He sucks for New England. He's good for the national team. Don't get twisted. That guy can't catch anything at New England.
That's funny. Raul wanted to let us know you are exactly right, my friend. People at work didn't know about the union in Lancaster County. Now they ask about it little by little, my friend. We got Jared and Ricky out there in Lancaster, right?
Yeah, I think, and my buddy Ken comes from
cool.
out there, and I will say though, I do hope. Speaking of the way that the atmosphere, I'm gonna say, I hope more people bring. I heard a little rumor that Club America fans had some al pastor tacos around, and if so, can we have more of those? Because I love.
Yeah, what the hell was up with that? Why do they only come for Club America? What do they think that we don't like tacos too?
Like, come on. Give me.
Who doesn't love tacos?
Give me all the.
My mom made tacos for dinner tonight.
So listen, if any Club America fans who are also happen to be Union fans are listening, and you come by the Sons of Ben tailgate, can you bring me some tacos? Like, please,
I love tacos.
Please. I kept hearing all this stuff about these guys, were offering me tacos. They had this great spread. I'm like, I want tacos.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, if you're ever down the Jersey Shore, Ocean City, great taco place on the boardwalk. Don't remember what it's called, but shout out to those guys. They make some great tacos.
The taco spot on the boardwalk. Make sure.
Oh, dude, so good, so good.
But no, we definitely need more stuff like that, and I hope they learned that yesterday. Look, we love tacos in Chester. Come on down and bring them down. Chris, great job tonight. Dupe, let's kick some ass on Sunday. I agree with you. I will see you there, my friend. Love you, Chris. Love you. I'm taking them to Subaru Park next. That's what we're talking about. See, this is what I'm talking about. He's doing everything possible to try to bring some recognition to our club. And I absolutely love that, man. Thank you so much for what you do. A little highlight from my last vlog. Listen, so when we're on the pod, I'm a different person, but once I enter the tree, that guy gets thrown. He's left at the door. I'm a fan. I'm an SOB, literally both meanings. I'm an SOB. And yeah, sometimes it comes out. I that's what I do, man. Listen. So after like around the 30th minute, I had to chill with the chants because I started losing my voice. And
I had no voice yesterday. I
needed it.
Afterwards, it was gone. And even this morning, I came to work, and my boss was like,
"You good?"
Hey, was like, "Hey," and she's like,
"Did you not watch? Did you not watch the game last night? I was there."
Yeah.
Get him in the corner, Justin. Come on.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I got no voice right now. Like, I was like, it took me at least half the day to really get my voice back.
Yeah, man, it's tough. Positive Philly is a new friend to the podcast here. He started to become a Union fan. I'm really disappointed in the way the team played last night, but as fans, we need to be grateful for this opportunity to still love this team no matter what. Doop, 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 doop. Positive Philly, it's the fact of soccer. We went up against a giant in Club America, and the way soccer works, you can't really control how good Club America is. There's no really a salary cap in Mexico. But yeah, like you ended that perfectly. You still love this team no matter what. We started us off and we send our condolences towards that family, man. But yeah, we did hear that. What time the game on Sunday? So listen, Positive Philly, Sunday is set up for you perfectly. Actually, I don't know if it's completely set up for you perfectly, but here's what's going down. Obviously, we all know that Sunday we have our home opener for the Philadelphia Eagles, 1:00 kickoff against the San Francisco 49ers. And then right after that game is over, you got yourself another game. You got the Philadelphia Union at 4:00, right? You got the Union facing off against Orlando City at home. And then the best way to end it, unfortunately, the Phillies will not be in Philly, but they will be up in New York, Queens, to face off against the Mets at 7:08. Dude, Sunday is set up for Philly sports fans. Birds, Dupe, and the Phils, hell effing yeah. You guys already know where I'm going to be at on Sunday, man. So there you go. I set you guys up for Sunday. You can thank me later. All right, guys, that's going to do it for another episode of Dupe by the River. We went long. We voiced our opinions. We had some hot takes. And now we're off to Orlando, and hopefully the Union, we're on the MLS season. Hopefully the Union can figure out these attacking issues. And maybe Zach can give some more recognition to El Brujo. We will see.
We'll see. If he keeps playing well, keep telling him he plays well. But if he plays like shit, I'm going to say he plays like shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to like both on both lives on Philly Sports Network and on El Parcero Philly's YouTube channels, and of course subscribe to both of those. If you cannot listen to this, if you're more of a podcaster, you want to listen to it on a streaming site, we are on every streaming site through PSN Radio. You can find all the Philly Sports podcasts on there, and you can find that wherever you stream podcasts as well. Ladies and gentlemen, over there on my top right, we have Justin La Maravilla Calva Freiberg. At the bottom there, we have Zach Lobasso. And of course, on the left, I'm El Parcero Philly, and we are telling you guys to DOOP on. We'll talk to you guys next week.